I'm Lee Tushler with EE World and Design World. I'm here with Rick Parizot from Intipro, and we have a regenerative load behind us. Rick, when you're doing tests and you're using a lot of power levels, it helps if you can regenerate power to kind of save in your power bill. That's what this thing does. Can you give us a few details about what's going on here?
Yeah, thank you, Lee. There's several advantages to using a regenerative load, and one is the cost savings on your electric bill coming in. So you're regenerating about 93% of the energy that would normally be displaced as heat, and that's going back to the grid, lowering your electrical consumption. On top of that, that heat from a regular conventional electronic load would just go into the working environment, so now your air conditioning would have to work harder and so on. So regenerative loads offer a lot of advantages without sacrifices. It has all the features of your standard electronic load, where it can do constant current, constant voltage, power, and resistance. So you're not sacrificing anything, and you don't even realize it's quietly putting energy back onto the grid. Besides that, it helps companies meet their sustainability objectives of being less global impact, less carbon footprint on the environment.
Now, how much power would a unit this size regenerate? I know there are different sizes.
Yeah, this one happens to be about a 10.3 kilowatts. We can stack them together and go up to 250,000 watts or more.
Well, now for people who've never done this before, what kind of a deal do you have to do with your utility to send power back to them?
It's dependent on your local company, so it's always best to check with your local rules and find out. Many cases, it's just as simple as a certified electrician, just double checking the connections.
Well, that sounds pretty easy, Rick.
Yeah, and there's another advantage too. A lot of times, when you start getting these kind of power levels, a lot of companies start thinking about using water-cooled loads. Water-cooled loads are even more expensive than a traditional electronic load, and you have all the costs of having a chiller in the facility that you have to maintain, and keeping it up and running can be quite difficult sometimes and costly. Where this, once you have it connected, it's pretty much set it and forget it, unless you do want to change controls on it.
Now, are there any technical differences between the regenerative loads that are out there that users should be aware of?
The only trade-off is a little bit slower response time. So many of our customers have to do transient response testing on a power supply, which is when you go from zero current to max current or other values. It's going to be a little bit slower, maybe around 50 microseconds, 100 microseconds, versus conventional loads that are more in that 50 to 20 microsecond range. But besides that, it has all the features, all the protection, and no other trade-offs.
Yeah, that's interesting work there. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
Okay.